Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you for being here. I apologize for being a minute or so late. We're going to get started here in just 1 second. I'm going to let a few other people in, and then we're going to get going with this month's an introduction to eXp Realty. First of all, I just want to say thanks a lot to you guys for joining us today. I'm going to be recording this. Feel free to write down any questions you want, put them in the chat box or in the question box, whichever is best for you. And what I will do is I will get through the presentation, and then we'll leave some time for question and answers here at the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, bring up the slide deck. And we should be able to get going here in a second. Do me a favor, guys. Type into the chat box. Let me know you can see my screen. Should be blue slide deck and introduction to eXp Realty, the real estate cloud brokerage. Let me know you guys can see it. All right. Thank you, Christy, for letting me know. All right. So we're going to get going, guys. First of all, my name is Kevin Kaufman. I am one half of the founders of the real estate team group 4610, along with my business partner, Fred Weaver. We moved our real estate team from Keller Williams after, gosh, I think that was almost exactly the first 11 years of my real estate career. And it's been almost 2.5 years now. Next month will be 2.5 years. So June of 2018, Fred and I moved our business from Keller Williams Realty after 11 years there over to eXp Realty. And so I'm going to share with you today kind of how the brokerage works, how the system at eXp works, and if there are any questions that you have, things that you want to know about, whether it's about a slide, something on the slide, or something else you want to talk about. Just go ahead again, save it, put it in the chat box or in the question and answer box, and I will get to those. And I'm just so glad you guys could join us today. So let's talk about it. Here we go. All right, eXp Realty. I'm sorry, I'm not used to using Prezi, but I'm using it today. So let's talk about EXP and innovation. Innovation's always happening, and EXP Realty is doing nothing more really than innovating the real estate brokerage space. So if you think about it, think about these other companies, Blockbuster to Netflix and retail stores to Amazon, taxi services to Uber and Lyft, right? Traditional brokerages to EXP. Now, for some of you, that may be a stretch to go from like when you see those other companies, Netflix, Amazon, Uber, Lyft, EXP. But here's the truth. Think about it. Think about Blockbuster. Think about the way you used to consume movies, right? It used to be that you would drive to Blockbuster. You probably reserved a movie if you really wanted to see it, especially if it was new, if it was a new release. And then you went there, you picked it up. Hopefully you were kind and you rewind, and when you brought it back maybe a day or two late, you had a late fee, and it just was a different experience. Not bad, not worse. I mean, like, for some of us, we really like that experience. But if I would have told you 10, 12 years ago, back then, when that was like the norm, um, that you could now watch, one day you'd be able to watch movies on your phone, on a computer, like in real time, like that. You wouldn't even believe it. But the reality is if you couldn't do that now, you'd probably be kind of pissed, right? You'd be annoyed that you couldn't get the movie that you want to watch instantly on whatever device that you are currently using. That's how much things change when you remove brick and mortar, when you remove the physical limitations of this sort of old school way of doing things. When you think about retail stores and Amazon, it's the same thing. Think about taxi services, Uber and Lyft. The joke that we always use is, think about it. It used to be years ago. You never got in the car of a stranger. You didn't even talk to strangers. Definitely didn't talk to people on the internet. And now you literally use the internet to hail people that you don't know, strangers, to come and pick you up in their car to take you somewhere, right? And if you couldn't do it on demand, you'd probably be annoyed. So listen, it's not that much of a stretch, because what I'm going to present to you here over the next 20, 25 minutes or so is the way eXp Realty is changing the way us as real estate agents, as real estate brokers, the way we experience our real estate brokerage and the way we go about running our business. So we're going to go through how we do that. So we'll talk about eXp World. So a lot of people say, I don't know about a virtual, I just don't know about a virtual brokerage. There's no office space. I say to that, well, there is. First of all, we have a virtual office space, right? And in my opinion, it's not even just the office of the future. It's actually the office of right now. I mean, think about if 2020 and COVID taught you anything, it's that things don't necessarily need to be the way they were, right? And so what happens inside of eXp World is you have things like real-time support, you got specialized departments, team collaboration, information sharing, daily training. I mean, daily, like 50 plus hours a week. We're going to talk about that more later. Large scale meetings, you name it. So I'm not going to play this video for you, but I will give you a link to be able to watch that video. We're going to talk about eXp University here for a second. eXp University, a lot of folks say, okay, if I go to a real estate brokerage that doesn't have a physical office, like how am I going to learn from other agents? Well, it's simple. Inside of eXp World, we have something called eXp University. I mentioned it on the last slide. Over 50 hours of live training every week. Here's the cool part about that live training. A good portion of it is brought to you by the top agents in the entire company. So if you were ever looking at the list of classes, and again, it's more than 50 every single week. That's just the live. That doesn't even count the recorded library, the catalog of recorded courses. You every time you see the word icon series, that's taught to you by an icon agent. So the reason why that's important is because that's someone like you and me who's in the field today experiencing what it's like to be a real estate agent in 2020, who's sharing with you the things that they are using in their business today. Fred's my business partner. Again, for those of you who don't know me very well, Fred and I teach a class once a month on Teams. It's really more of a mastermind that we host, and that's part of the icon series as well, because it's about what we face every day as a realtor in 2020 running a team. So eXp University is great. There's a fast start series for brand new agents that you can catch live. There are classes every week on how to use all of the tools that we have available to us at eXp, which is plentiful. There are classes again taught for lead generation, for listings, for referrals, social media, how to use KV Core, which I'll talk about here in a moment too. All of our technology platforms, there's basically a beginner's class and usually even a step 2 class for all of those platforms each and every week too. So when you're not just a new agent, but new to the company, and you like want to make sure that you get up and running as quickly as possible, we got you covered live every single week. We're going to talk about eXp Realty's core values. So these are the beliefs that shape our culture. And that's the thing. It's so hard to explain because culture is one of those things. You can look at this slide. I can, I can tell you about it. I can tell you how I experience it. But the truth is, it's really hard to connect to until you feel it. Here's what I'm going to share with you. I'm going to read each of these for you, but I'm just going to share with you this. I feel it. It's real. Believe it or not, I actually feel more connected to my real estate brokerage today than I ever have at any point in the last 13 and a half years since I became a real estate agent. So eXp Realty core values are service, sustainability, which I love because most people think that would be the opposite of what this company is about, but we're all about sustainability, collaboration, transparency, like getting things out from behind the curtain. How important is that today? Think about if you're watching this live, you know that it's election day in the US. If you're watching the recorded version of this, I'm recording this on election day 2020. How important is transparency when we really don't get much of that from most corporations or really any politician? Integrity, doing the right thing, important, especially again, election day. Innovation, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. Talk about an innovative company. I mean, we're talking about using avatars and like virtual campuses in 2020. That's cool. It's 2020. Now it's kind of I don't want to say it's widely accepted. It's being more accepted every day because of COVID, because of what happened. But our founder Glenn thought of this over 11 years ago. Like 11 years ago, he went, let's have a cloud brokerage. There's got to be a better way, right? I'm not saying he's Elon Musk, but think about that. 11 years ago, he went and said, we need to have a better way of doing the real estate brokerage for real estate agents. And here we are in 2020. Again, it's almost like we saw COVID coming. We saw something like this coming because we were able to continue to be agile, which is our next core value, still have fun and still build our community. Again, all part of our core values, all part of the things. Every single thing on this slide has been something we've been able to experience and have at a super high level, including during the events of 2020, which, let's quite frankly, have been kind of crazy. All right, so let's talk about the fees. Everyone wants to know, yeah, but what does it cost? What does it cost? Let's talk about your investment. Required fee to join, $149 to start up. I want to point out that's a U.S. fee. These are U.S. fee only. If you happen to be outside of the U.S., fees are going to be a little bit different. Reach out to whoever invited you to this webinar if you want details on that. If you're outside of the U.S., the commission and cap, it's an 80-20 split. It's up to a $16,000 cap. After that, it's 100% commission for the remainder of your anniversary year. As an example, if you sell a home and the commission happens to be $10,000, it's an 80-20 split. 8,000 would go to you as the agent, 20% to the company. If you did that 8 times, you would pay a $16,000 cap over the course of a year. Hopefully you do that in only a few months and you get to enjoy the rest of your anniversary year at 100%. So those are US fees only. Again, I want to remind you also there's a cap transaction fee, and we'll talk about that later as well. But there are no desk fees. There's no royalty fees, no franchise fees. That's huge. Let's talk about the monthly fees. $85 a month to remain active. This pays for your technology, your tools, and your training. Very small price to invest in your business. Per transaction fee of $25 for broker review. $40 risk management fee. It's E&O insurance is how I refer to it. Those are per transaction. So if you're on a team and say there's 2 people getting paid, like Fred and I, if we were to split a commission, I would pay half of that $25 broker review fee. He would pay half of it. I would pay half of the risk management fee. He would pay half of it. There's also a transaction fee of $250 after you've paid a full cap. Once you've paid 20 of those, you're going to qualify for something that we call the Icon Agent Award, which I'll talk about later. And then that fee greatly reduces. So if you want to dive into more, we can talk about that later as well. So let's talk about the growth, because here's some of the milestones this company has reached, which have been huge. So first of all, 2009, eXp Realty is founded. I told you that 11 years ago. 2013, eXp World Holdings became a publicly traded company. In 15, this was only 5 years ago, folks, eXp Realty exceeded 650 agents. 650 agents just 5 years ago. 2017, it exceeded 6,500 agents, times 10. Like it multiplied times 10 in 2 years, right? And they expanded to 47 states and 2 Canadian provinces. That was all in 2017. 2018, eXp World Holdings joins the NASDAQ. That means it was uplisted from a penny stock or an over-the-counter stock. It's weird. I think they left out the slide in 2018 where it said Kevin Kaufman joined eXp Realty. It's a little joke. I don't think that highly of myself. 2020 and beyond. This is already old. Like eXp Realty's already exceeded over 35,000 agents, and I think the unofficial number is probably 36,000 at this point. And we continue our international expansion as well. So it is going. It's like this is a locomotive. This company is an absolute locomotive moving very quickly. So we're in all 50 states in the United States and in North America. So including Canada, we're in 7 provinces and the District of Columbia. We launched into the United Kingdom already. We have launched into Australia, and we've got a few more coming up that I know have already been announced. South Africa and India were announced in the last couple of weeks as well. So some serious growth going on. Let's talk about production matters. It used to be the thought about eXp Realty, or the knock on eXp Realty was it wasn't where productive agents go to. And now the reality is that's just not true. And we've got the numbers to back it up. Number 1 in independent brokerages ranked by closed transaction sites for 2019. By the way, our numbers in 2020 have greatly surpassed 2019. We've moved in volume from 18 to 19, one of the second highest mover of all brokerages. Number 4 in closed sales volume for 2019. I mean, look at this, top movers for transactions, top movers for closed transaction sides, the Billionaires Club, because we closed more than 1 billion of sales in 2019, which, no kidding, we're doing more than that every quarter. Sales volume increase, transaction side increase, agent count increase. Everything has just continued to grow and grow and grow, including the production, because that matters a ton. here's something that's near and dear to my heart. I'm going to share with you is insurance. And the reason why I'm going to share this with you, or why it's near and dear with me, is because how much it's helped my family. So according to NAR, 28 to 33% of realtors are uninsured in any given year, right? So EXP, they've got an answer for that. They came out with eXp Agent Healthcare, and it's been huge. I'm not going to go into all of it. My suggestion is this: write this down: expagенthealthcare.com. Go over to expagenthealthcare.com if you want to learn the details of this and schedule a quick consultation. I did that about a year ago because a friend of mine who was an agent at Keller Williams Realty at the time reached out to me and asked me about it. And they just recently announced the new insurance program. I said, man, I don't know, but I'll go check it out. And truthfully, I wasn't that excited about it until I had a consultation. And what I found and what I've experienced this year in 2020 is that for the same coverage I have had for the last number of years, and just for total, get all the information out there. I have a family of four. So my wife, myself, and our two daughters, we are saving north of $750 monthly. Guys, that's over 9 grand back in my pocket. Over 9 grand because I'm a part of the eXp Agent Healthcare program. You don't have to be a current agent to go hear about it and get a quote. So go over to expagenthealthcare.com and dig into that information if you'd like more. Let's talk about eXp Enterprise. So this is this is the home screen, right? This is launch. This is where you go to every single day to get into your system. I log into this literally first thing every single day when I open my computer, just as fast as I open email. And the reason why is you can get to anything that you need to run your real estate business from right here, from our dashboard to our statistics to our revenue share numbers, our transaction numbers, commissions, cap status, equity awards, real-time performance reports, you name it. It's all right there from eXp Enterprise, or what I like to call home base. You can also get to SkySlope. This is just the best in class when it comes to transaction management system. Allows you to review transactions from any device. You and your clients can sign everything digitally, and you can run your business with top grade security features. It's also the same thing our brokers use for compliance. Then we've got Facebook Workplace. This is a connection tool. It's not just eXp World, which I talked about earlier, but Facebook Workplace. It's an easy to use collaboration platform. It looks just like Facebook because it's made by Facebook, but it's built for the world of work. So this is an awesome tool. Fred was here to tell you this is like one of the first thing he logs into every day. I don't even have regular Facebook on my phone anymore, but I do have Workplace and I do log into it every single day. So it allows us to see, with all of our 36,000 plus coworkers at eXp Realty, we can discuss topics, share announcements. We can see inside different groups, share referrals, open house opportunities, you name it. Communicate instantly with your team, with your group. You can broadcast live videos, go Facebook Live, if you will, inside of Facebook Workplace. Great collaboration tool. Company also provides, as part of that $85 a monthly fee, CRM and lead gen tools. So you can use, we currently use KV Core that is provided to all agents at no additional cost. You don't have to use it, but it's there. It's provided for. If you don't have a great CRM system and a great front end website, this is a great, powerful tool. You can also use the optional in-house lead generation program called Making It Rain if you want to add internet lead gen on top of what you're doing. We've also got a bunch of great preferred partners here at eXp Realty. The one I'm going to focus on is Express Offers. This allows the agents where Express Offers is live, which is in many of the markets now, to bring offers to your listing appointments. So how powerful is that, right? We all hear the term iBuyers. We all hear what's going on, maybe not in your market, but it's going on in other markets, right? You may or may not have a database of seasoned investors. Well, the Express Offers platform gives you the ability to access a ton, or at least a handful of big time investors who are buying, 50, 60, 100, 200, sometimes thousands of homes a year in your market, and bring to them opportunities before they're even on the market. So think about that. How powerful is that? You show up to your listing appointment with an offer already. It's huge. So the Express Offers platform is a great thing for us, as well as the marketing and branding center. So eXp Realty provides templates to market your business. Here's the thing: it's flexible. It allows you to be creative and co-brand your design any way that you feel is best. And we're talking about everything from business cards to brochures, signage. If you can think about it from branding or marketing standpoint in real estate, you can create it inside of the marketing and branding center. It's actually a huge tool and resource for us here at eXp Realty. We're going to talk about the revenue share plan. Here's why I love this, guys, because as real estate agents, we all go out and sell real estate, and that's what we're supposed to do. That's our job. There's no doubt about it. But when we sell more real estate or more agents join your brokerage, what happens is the owner of that brokerage makes more money, right? And the reality is most of those people that are joining your brokerage get introduced by another realtor, another broker. And so eXp Realty agents can receive revenue share income from sales activity of the productive agents that they sponsor or introduce to the company. So basically, um, here's what the company does. Of the company dollar they collect, it's that $16,000 cap. Half of that gets shared out in revenue share. Half of that goes to the company to pay its bills. There's no franchisors or franchisees. There's no regional franchisees. There's no huge overhead and payroll in these local buildings. None of that is there. So they've got the money to share with us as the people who are bringing in the other agents from other companies or into the industry. So it allows you to create income outside of just selling another home. Now, maybe this isn't for you. That's cool. No big deal. You're probably actually going to accidentally attract somebody anyways if you're a productive agent, because they're so powerful here. There's so many other tools that we get to help make our business and lives better that your friends will ask you about it. So as you can see, I'm not going to go into great detail. If you want detail on it, reach out to the person that invited you to this webinar or reach out to me directly. And if somebody else invited you, let's make sure that they're included. And there's 7 tiers to it. So meaning Fred introduced me to eXp Realty. Technically, he's my sponsor. His sponsor, or the person that really introduced both of us, is a guy named Curtis Johnson, right? So for Curtis, Fred is tier 1, I am tier 2. Now there's an agent on my team named Joe. Joe would be Curtis's tier 3 agent. He would be Fred's tier 2 and my tier 1. I know that's a lot. If you want more detail on it, let me know. We can dive into that as deep as you would like. Here's the other part that's so powerful that no other company can offer is the equity opportunities. I should say no other company does offer. A lot of other companies could offer this, but they don't. Agents can become shareholders at eXp Realty. It's important that we use the word shareholder because that means you actually own something versus like just a stakeholder, which means you own nothing. So sustainable equity plans, because there's 3 different ways to become a shareholder here at eXp Realty. The first one is the sustainable equity plan. You earn shares on your first closed transaction. That's awesome. You earn more shares when you pay a full cap. So if you're not on a team and you pay a full $16,000 cap, you're going to earn more shares when you've paid that full cap. And then when you introduce an agent to the company and they close their first transaction, you also earn more shares. So that's the sustainable equity plan. Sorry about that. Throat's a little dry. I needed a drink. Now let's talk about the Icon Agent Award. This is so cool. This is the ability to earn up to $16,000 in stock upon the achievement of certain production and cultural goals within your anniversary year. I can give you a direct link if you want to see it in writing from the company, exactly what those are. But effectively, for most markets, if you're selling 25 to 30 homes a year, like you're probably going to qualify for this. And it's huge because I'm just going to give you an example. Stock has gone up quite a bit this year, right? But last year and the year before, when I earned the award, they issued me $16,000 worth of shares. Today, those awards are worth significantly more than $16,000, like 5-6 times that at this point in just a couple of years. I mean, it's pretty awesome. So now stock prices go up and go down. It's at the time you earn the award that they issue it to it, but it's $16,000. Think about it. You're effectively there for free if you're a highly productive agent, or very, very inexpensively. Even if you don't recruit people, you're there for free. And then we've got the agent equity program. So you can enroll to be paid 5% of every transaction commission to buy stock at a 10% discount. So I had a friend of mine, he's at a company that's a franchise, or he was. And when we presented this idea to him or shared with him how this works, he said, "Oh, well, I pay a 6% royalty right now." Most franchises have some sort of royalty fee. It's usually between 6 and 8%, depending on the company. He said, "So instead of paying the royalty fee, I'm just gonna it's like I'm gonna pay it to myself instead of to my company, and then I'll be able to buy stock at a 10% discount." That's pretty cool. So yeah, 5% of your GCI can be set aside to buy stock at a 10% discount. That is awesome. Like, it has made a lot of people I know a lot of money, myself included. I'm not ashamed to admit it. So again, 3 different ways you become a shareholder here at eXp Realty: as an agent, the Sustainable Equity Plan, the Icon Agent Award, and the Agent Equity Program. Pretty damn cool if you ask me. So, you want to become a shareholder? You want to do some more due diligence? First of all, I will stay on here. We can take questions. You can also go over to join.exprealty.com. That's join.exprealty.com and do more due diligence. You can also go over to kevinandfred.com. That's kevinandfred.com /EXP, kevinandfred.com /EXP. And we've got a couple, I mean, actually, we have a ton of content and info there about eXp Realty that you can go dig into. Videos, there's written content. Some of it may be a little out of date because we haven't updated the site in a little while, but there is always a ton of content on there, and none of it will really be that off. And you can also obviously reach out to me or whoever invited you here for some more direct info if there's anything specific you want to talk about. So with that, that's the entire presentation today, guys. So what I want to do now is, first of all, respect your time. If you've got somewhere to be, you've got an appointment to get to, by all means, we're done. Feel free to get going. If you've got some questions, you want to ask a question, feel free, type it in the chat bar, type it in the Q&A section, whatever it is, ask your question. I am an open book, and I will be more than happy to answer those questions for you. So thank you for joining us. If you're not sticking around for questions, and if you are, fire away.